views expressed on this program are those of the hosts, guests, and callers, and are not necessarily those of this station, its management, or other advertisers. You're listening to Transformation Talk Radio.
Hi, welcome. This is Dr. John DeMartini. This is one of the most amazing and inspiring shows that you can listen into. If you want to be on the edge of your seats, if you want to open up your heart, if you want to expand your mind, and you want to meet incredible people, stay tuned because you're just about to experience a transformative radio show that will change your life. And you're listening to the Dr. Pat Show that's coming up right next.
Welcome to the Dr. Pat Show. Talk radio to thrive by. Powerful, inspiring, and coming to you live, bringing you stories of people like you and me, busting through and living life full out. Get ready to dare to wonder what your life would be like if you knew you could not fail.
This is Living Lighter Radio, and I'm Patricia. I'm here with my husband, Jason. Today, we're taking Dr. Pat's place. Dr. Pat is on vacation. And Dr. Pat, if you're listening, put the radio down and go enjoy yourself, my dear. Today, we're going to talk about an important discovery that helped create the ecosystem approach. We use an ecosystem approach to you, which is much different than what you are commonly taught. We see human beings as ecosystems that need to be uncovered instead of programmed. Human potential becomes infinite with our ecosystem approach. So, Jason, we're going to explain the ecosystem approach shortly. So, explain the discovery that started it all.
This was my eureka moment. As I started to use my intuitive ability, I was focusing on people's soul, their essence. We call it essence. And when I looked, I could see that most people's essence was blocked by almost 80%. Now, this isn't an imprecise number. This is kind of a rough guideline. But I don't see when I use my intuition, I don't see in percentages or strict metrics. It's just kind of an overall sense. But it was a OMG moment because when I'd been exposed to a lot of different metaphysical techniques and processes, and I could see they weren't even touching that 80%. They were barely scratching the surface. And so what does that mean? So I started to look some more. And what's really surprising is I started to look at our heroes, those who we think of as evolved, and they had this negative energy.
Wait a minute. Does that mean everybody has it, Jason?
Yes. I looked at people who I thought this person certainly shouldn't have it because they had so much accomplishment, or this person, had achieved this amazing greatness. They wouldn't have that. But it's not true. Everyone had it. And then I looked further and I saw that these great leaders had gotten that way by rearranging the leftover 20%. That instead of removing that 80%, they rearranged the 20%. So they had this great talent or ability or way to function in the world, which led to their greatness.
Their acknowledgement from others.
Yes. Their hero status, so to speak.
Okay.
And when they did this, when they rearranged this 20%, they also had this great penalty, price.
Deficit. Okay.
Van Gogh cut off his ear. He was a great artist, but then,
Well, people could say he didn't need to hear to paint, but that wasn't the point, is it?
It was that cutting off his ear was because of madness.
Right.
Everyone, Hemingway was an alcoholic, great writer, but an alcoholic. You can go down the list and see that Steve Jobs, who recently passed too early, and he had a reputation for personality quirks, some being a rageaholic, that sort of thing, that was inconsistent with the rest of his hero-ness, so to speak.
Well, okay, I want to make sure that we're letting everyone know. We're not saying that the people that you're talking about, we're not putting them down. We're giving you a picture or an understanding of how that 80% affects all of us.
It's very, very important because our ecosystem approach, which is what we're going to talk about today,
right,
was designed because we saw that this 80% was the way to get to a better life. So if you're listening today, here's the other thing that I focused in on. When we started looking at people's essences or their essence, I guess it's not essences, but we saw that there were so many black sheep. And as we started to work with people, we've been working with clients for 18 years now, both of us together. And that's a lot of people. And we could see that everyone has this struggle, this deficit, this pain, these challenges. And even if they've had accomplishment in the world, they struggle with the loneliness or the unworthiness, this sort of black sheep quality where they didn't fit in.
Or the shame of being different.
Exactly. And that's a direct result of this 80%. This 80% is so important. You know, I never had a teacher as I developed my intuition. It was done pretty much what I would call naturally, organically. I knew that I had it. I was going to look for it, and I just found the tools. I had a few people help me along the way, but I would not call them teachers. And when I look back on those people, they never went far enough. They only just skimmed the surface. And they didn't give me a path to really get to it. Now, after 18 years that I'm doing my own work, of course, more than anything else, Patricia and I have both been doing our own work. We see how far we've come, but we also see how far we have to go. This 80% is not nothing. It's huge.
Right.
And if you look at the world in the big way, from a macro perspective, we've got a lot of problems. There's a lot of hate. There's a lot of anger. There's a lot of,
guilt, shame, overwhelm, all of it.
You know, we were just watching the news this morning before we came on, and they had a segment on CBS about loneliness.
Right.
That everybody's lonely, even people that are in a relationship and have family all around can be lonely.
Well, I'm going to jump in and say we did a show on this a couple of weeks ago. So if anybody's interested in that, go check that out, and we'll give you the avenue in which to do that in a few minutes.
But here's the point about that loneliness, all those things, the feeling disconnected, feeling depressed, the epidemic of depression. Mm-hmm. It's in that 80%.
Correct.
OMG, that's where we have to go. And in order to, but what makes me excited, I think this is the most important point, Patricia, is that this human potential, that's the flip side of the black sheepness, where people have been discredited, pushed aside, held captive, obscured, invisible, in plain sight. There's this amazing potential that's in you right now. If you're listening to this right now, I'm talking to you. This is this amazing potential, and it's been thrown away, discarded. It's part of this 80%. And we have a process that will help you get rid of it. Right. And it's the proper focus. It's where we have to go. It's what's the most important. I see a lot of other self-help techniques and metaphysical techniques, and I always wonder out loud, without being critical, I can see they all have benefit. But I always wonder, are they really going toward the root? Are they going toward the most important part?
Well, I'm going to touch on something. One of the things that our process does is, and that's the ecosystem approach, is we do the practical. We get rid of the negative energies. We help you get rid of the negative energies so you can live in this world today. We are here for reasons, and most of us rarely achieve those goals of being here and doing something that makes a difference. By the way, most of us come here to make a difference.
Well, and that idea of being practical, there's so many things that that kind of separate you from being practical. We want to have you live in the world the way it is right now, with the technology and
and all of the problems
and challenges with those things. We don't want you to sell all your worldly belongings, go live on a mountaintop. We want you to live in the world the way it is now, and that's why we've designed our program. So we understand people are busy, they're distracted by many different problems and challenges, but this that
provoked and promoted the practical side of what it is we do.
So the ecosystem approach is always practical, and it helps you do what you need to do. But see, this 80% is filled with negative energy, and what that is, and all the specifics of that is a whole radio show in its own. But the truth is that this 80% is where we focus, and you don't have to know.
Well, wait a minute, we get stuck in it.
We get stuck in it, and the truth is, most people think, "Well, I want to understand this better," and that's okay. But what happens is when we start to do this process, this we call clearing, it opens a portal.
Yeah,
and it's an amazing portal. But what happens is that portal opens, but then it closes down again. So one of the things that we talk about is clearing constantly, consistently, and specifically. And the constant is needed because those portals close all the time. They open up and then they close. They open up and then they close.
And we have to remember, everything is energy, and there is action and reaction in everything that we do.
People talk about how they've had this amazing experience, but they can't sustain it. They can't maintain it. And that's why constant and consistently is so important.
Well, and when that portal closes down, we open it up, we remove negative energy, and when it closes down, it feels as if the work that we do, and by the way, not just for us, you don't do yoga once in your lifetime and everything's okay. So understand that it feels like it's fading. Well, the reason it feels like it's fading, meaning the work that you've done, has to do with the portal, however you've opened it up. It closes down. That's why we say
constant and consistent.
Yes, exactly. So, Jason, what are the key points of this segment?
Most of us have 80% of our essence compromised by this negative energy. Even though those who have achieved greatness also have essence compromised by 80%. That most of our problems, challenges, and difficulties is a result of that negative energy. And removing and focusing on that 80% can lead to amazing growth and positive change.
So stay tuned. When we come back, we're going to talk about the negative energy that is created by programming or treating yourself like a machine. This is Living Lighter with Jason and Patricia, with an ecosystem approach to your life. You're listening to Transformation Talk Radio.
Join the New Earth on the Cornelia Stephanie Show. Tune in each month as Cornelia takes listeners on an odyssey of higher consciousness to inspire, educate, and empower. Cornelia Stephanie is a spiritual teacher, passionate speaker, published author, and founder of the Empower Network. Cornelia guides people on the path of self-healing, peace, and liberation. For more information, go to corneliastephanie.com.
Our angels and animals are always working for and around us. Darcy Pariso knew from an early age she felt this incredible presence that was confirmed for her in a Reiki Level 1 course. From then on, she has honed her skills and dedicated her talents to providing answers, inspiration, and tools for people to move past limiting blocks and past traumas to truly live a life of happiness. For more information about working with Darcy, visit darcypariso.com.
Are you ready to shift gears from spiritual seeker to spiritual rock star? Let Nova Whiteman be your aligning force that will help you navigate the ups and downs of this human experience. Tune in to Spiritual Alignment Radio with Nova Whiteman every second Tuesday at 12 p.m. Pacific on TransformationTalkRadio.com. For more, visit NovaWhiteman.com. That's NovaWhightman.com.
People often ask, what does it mean to thrive? On Thrive by Jen Radio, it means body confidence, mind fulfillment, and soul synchronicity. Create synchronicity with God and learn as Jen shares action steps and real stories that will inspire you to be unstoppable in fulfilling your purpose. Tune in live each Monday at 8 a.m. Pacific on transformationtalkradio.com and visit jenniferzellup.com to thrive with Jen.
Hi, I'm Laura Meeks, and the most common problem that my clients face is all work and no play. This is why I created Fly High Living. I help you develop a balanced life plan and guide you to a place where you love to wake up in the morning.
Call 888-666-1570 or go to flyhighliving.com to sign up for the 4-week Flight Plan for Life course.
Have you been searching for a push to step out and share your gifts with the world? Allow Charlene Hess to empower you to start shedding the layers of your ego that are holding you back and begin feeling connected to your heart so that you can shine your unique divine light and share your gifts with the world. Tune in to the Charlene Hess Show, Living on Your Heart's Edge, every third Friday at noon Pacific on transformationtalkradio.com. For more information, visit charlenehess.com.
This is Living Lighter Radio with Jason, and I'm Patricia. Today, we are taking Dr. Pat's place. Dr. Pat is on vacation, and I hope she's having a really, really good time. We are talking about the 80% negative energy in your essence and how programming creates that. We use an ecosystem approach to you, which is much different than what you are commonly taught. We see human beings as ecosystems that need to be uncovered instead of programmed. Human potential becomes infinite with our ecosystem approach. All right, Jason, we're talking about the 80% and how programming creates it for a really, really long time. In other words, it builds up. Is that what you're talking about?
Well, we've been talking about it for a long time, and that's the point. But it does build up.
Okay.
And it has to do with how energy works.
So wait. Why is this so difficult to understand?
Because programming is the frame with which we're taught, and almost everything is in this frame, and it's invisible. It's not about what we do, it's about how we do it.
Okay.
And that's why it's so invisible. As a result, the toxic effects are also completely invisible. One of the most awful and common effects is shame and unworthiness. This 80% I see creates so much shame, but more importantly than that, programming. When we use a programming frame, which is what we do, is we say these are the standards that you have to meet, and then if you don't meet those standards, then the inevitable is shame, and it's based on a false premise that first of all that you're a machine. Hey, I want to tell you guys are not machines. You're human beings, and human beings can't be programmed like a machine where you plug in the software and you get a certain result. It doesn't work that way.
Well, okay, Jason, just a little comment, because when you're talking about the black sheep and being programmed and then being the shame about all of it. When I was a little girl, my mother used to say to me on a fairly regular basis, Patty is what she called me. Please don't call me that, anyone. Patty, you're not like the rest of my children. Why is that? You have no idea what that did, but she was programming me to become the black sheep. She set me up. And of course, I was a child. I believed her. Is this what you're talking about, Jason?
Well, there's two types of programming, but that's one of them. Okay.
Right.
And the one type is when we get these messages from our parents, from our childhood, from our culture growing up. Maybe we're the wrong color. Maybe we're the wrong sexual orientation. Maybe we're the wrong ethnicity. It could be all sorts of things. Maybe we look funny. Maybe we have too much weight. It doesn't matter. That black sheepness can come from any sort of thing. But these messages that happen over and over and over again program you. And the way out, of course, is our ecosystem approach. And that programming, where is that? It's in that 80%.
Okay.
So if,
right.
it can come from anything.
That type of programming.
Yes. And, for everyone out there, everyone that's listening right now, you probably have a different story. I'm just trying to say to you right now that we can change that your black sheepness can be changed. Because if you've been pushed aside, discredited, invisible,
judged unfairly.
Yes.
Okay.
That's the result of toxic programming. Now, there's one other type, and I just want to say this real quickly. The other type is when we use self-discipline, self-control, focus. All these things are sort of the go-to in how to help people be better. When you talk to an expert about being better, they say, "Oh, self-discipline, persistence, self-control, focus." Well,
you sound like a diet that everyone's going to start at the beginning of the year.
Well, exactly. And I want to say to you that when you use that's the programming frame that we're talking about. Because when you use self-discipline, what you say is, "I don't care how I feel," and you push aside those feelings. Now, you have to understand how you work and how human beings work. And we saw this because, we use our intuition. We look, and this is all mapped out for you in your intuition. You know how you work and what the best way is to manage yourself.
But wait a minute. We've been programmed to not see that, Jason.
We've been programmed to believe it's a different way, that if we act like a machine, if we just force ourselves to do this and force ourselves to do that, then everything will be better. But here's the truth. The primary way our essence communicates to us is through our emotions. So if we go to, let's say we're having problems getting up and getting to work on time.
Okay.
And our boss says, "Okay, you late one more time, you're out of here." So chances are you'll try some sort of programming approach to make yourself
and
get
a
up
lot
on
of
time.
Alarm clocks.
Yeah, creating a lot of alarm clocks. Some sort of having someone wake you up. Having some way of forcing yourself to get out the door. We take a different approach. Now, if you're one late trip to work away from being fired, I'm going to say that you should do this. You should do the ecosystem approach, but you still may have to program yourself
and use a lot of alarm clocks.
Yes, to make sure you get there on time.
Okay.
But the ecosystem approach, instead of pushing aside your emotions, you would say, "Okay, I'm going to clear my resistance to getting up on time,
or my hate of my job, my hate of my coworkers."
Well, and the point is that when you start clearing this stuff, these other things are revealed.
Exactly.
When we say you can uncover yourself as opposed to
being programmed,
that's what we're talking about.
Okay.
And once you start to understand why, then you can start clearing those things too. Okay. So if you hate your job, you can clear hate of your job. And if you keep clearing hate of your job, what will happen is then you'll find what people call motivation, which you never have to motivate yourself. Oh, by the way, I'm going off on a tangent here, but you never have to motivate yourself. Having to motivate yourself means that you've been programmed, and you can't program yourself to motivate yourself. What happens is motivation happens naturally if you're being in alignment with your essence, that root part of you that is the most important. And what happens is that we discredit that part. We've pushed it aside. We say, that part doesn't matter. All that matters is that we achieve the objectives, whether it's put forth in school, by our culture, by our parents.
Right.
Maybe it's to make money. Maybe it's
or even our
whatever.
Partners.
Yes, exactly.
Okay, so I want you to go back to when I just want you to give a little bit of a example. If I'm late all the time. Or, if I'm late all the time, and in fact, not just in my job, but everywhere I go, that's could be an extreme. You're telling me that the ecosystem approach works. How do I do that, Jason?
Well, and, today is not the day to tell you all the details about how, but the way you do it, and that's why we've created these our radio show, and we're guests appearing today on Dr. Pat's radio show.
Thank you, Dr. Pat.
So you can listen to our radio show and start doing the clearings. And if you start doing the clearings, we do the clearings at the end of every show. And in the fourth segment, we're going to do that today. and will help you start to removing that 80%.
Well, we also do one other thing, Jason. What's that? That's the newsletter? Tell me about the newsletter.
That's the newsletter. And the newsletter, we put the clearings in the newsletter so that every week you can have something to read, so you can do it constantly.
Consistently.
Yes, and do the clearings every single week, every day. You can get them on your phone, and it's so important. Mm-hmm. Please go sign up for our newsletter. It's at www.livinglighter.org. Go to the newsletter tab. All we ask for is your name and your email address, and that's it.
One more time, Jason.
And it's free, of course. Yes.
What is how do they get to the newsletter and the clearings for the week? Each week they're different, by the way.
You sign up for the newsletter. Every week we have a new edition. The newsletter is about the topic of the week, and it always has clearings, but it doesn't matter what the topic is. Here's what's so neat with the ecosystem approach. It doesn't matter the specifics of it. And let's say you find a topic or one of our old radio shows that applies to you in the moment. Use those clearings all the time. You can do it all the time, but it doesn't matter what kind of clearings you do because they all go to the 80%. The problem is that as soon as you've done clearing, that portal closes again. So you have to keep doing it over and over and over again.
Consistently, constantly, and specifically. So I just want to say one more thing. Your essence doesn't need self-discipline to be motivated. It works naturally and easily. Your essence has all the talent, wisdom, motivation, and ability you'll ever need.
This is an amazing concept. This is so
it's
contrary,
awesome, everyone.
Contrary to what we've been taught,
right.
that we have to motivate ourselves, when the truth is the reason we have to motivate ourselves is because we've been programmed.
And we're stuck in that
80%. Yes.
That 80% of negative energy. That negative energy blocks everything about you, the best parts of you. And it's one of the most amazing things ever.
Your essence is where the talent is, the wisdom is, the motivation is, and all the abilities that you'll ever need. That's where they're at. But we're blocking them with our programming.
Yes.
So,
Jason, what are the key points of this segment?
Discredited people can restore their power and confidence with the ecosystem approach. We have a problem-solution mentality that doesn't work and ignores what's important. That you'll never remove the 80% if you use programming to run your life. It covers up essence. And that your essence has all the talent, ability, wisdom, and motivation that you'll ever need.
Stay tuned. When we come back, we're going to talk about the ecosystem approach that was created to remove the toxic effects of programming. This is Living Lighter with Jason and Patricia with an ecosystem approach to your life. You're listening to you're listening to Transformation Talk Radio.
To see your life from an angel's perspective, book a personal consultation with Claire Candy Huff, angelic walk-in angel Ariel at Angel Healing House. Candy provides intuitive counseling, Reiki, and angel readings in person in Los Angeles or nationally and internationally via phone or Skype. She will channel the practical tools you need to transform your life. Call now 831-277-3716 or visit angelhealinghouse.com.
Interested in deepening your spiritual practice? The School for Esoteric Studies offers online training to spiritual seekers from all paths of life and individual coaching. Our courses synthesize Eastern and Western spiritual traditions based on meditation, study, and service applied to everyday life. To learn more about our courses and services, please visit www.esotericstudies.net.
How often do you find yourself wondering, why me? Learn a new shift in perspective to see how everything that takes place in your life is actually working for you and shifting you towards your own enlightenment. Tune in to Blank Enlightenment Radio with Misty Thompson each month on TransformationTalkRadio.com. For more, visit MistyMThompson.com. That's MistyMThompson.com.
Knowledge Book Radio with Marge Potasic has a special gift for everyone out there. To receive 3 chapters of the Knowledge Book as a special gift, send your email to mmjp99@gmail.com. That's M as in Mary, JP99 @gmail.com now to receive this fabulous, fabulous gift of the Knowledge Book.
To find answers to life's questions, you need to look within yourself. Dr. Glenna Rice brings your questionable conversations on Transformation Talk Radio each month. Tune in each month for insight into how you can live up to your full potential. Dr. Glenna is a physical therapist, certified Access Consciousness, and Access Body Class facilitator. How does it get any better than this? For more information on Dr. Glenna Rice and her work, visit glennarice.com.
This is Living Lighter Radio with Jason, and I'm Patricia. Today, we're standing in for Dr. Pat. Actually, we're sitting, but just so you know, Dr. Pat is on vacation, and we are really wishing she has a wonderful time. Today, we're talking about the ecosystem approach, which was created to effectively remove the 80% of negative energy that's connected to the essence of who you are. We use an ecosystem approach to you, which is much different than what you are commonly taught. We see human beings as ecosystems that need to be uncovered instead of programmed. Human potential becomes infinite with our ecosystem approach. All right, Jason, what is the ecosystem approach?
Well, there's a lot of ways of talking about it. One way to talk about it is that it was designed to remove that 80%. And what we do is, instead of pushing your negative emotions aside, which is what you're trained to do, that's the frame of programming, is to use self-discipline and self-control to push aside your emotions and do it no matter how you feel. We say we clear away those negative emotions and remove them, and then we see what's there. And we just keep doing that constantly and consistently. And it's an amazing process, because what happens as you start to do this, you become connected to you. That amazing part of you.
Well, okay. So, the first off, everyone should know that both Jason and I use this every single day, and sometimes many times, or often more than once in a day. But the things that have happened to both of us, the journey that we have been on doing this has been phenomenal, and we have connected with our soul purposes, and because there's never just one. And it is amazing the things that we have discovered, not only about ourselves, but about each other.
And we can see that this is a lifelong process, that 80% is a lot. And it takes a while to get there.
Sure.
A while. I mean, I think most people, even if they started young, would not get through all of it in one lifetime. It's a lot. But with that said, any change that you do to that 80% is really positive for you.
Well, go. I'm sorry, I interrupted you, but I wanted to say, for those of us who have been overweight, one of the most amazing things that happens is when we start removing the negative energy that created that overweightness, we find these amazing discoveries in the folds of the fat. It is amazing.
Well, and she's not talking literally now, but metaphorically.
Yes.
But the uncovering process is, weight loss is a good example, because the ecosystem approach applies to almost every topic that you can think of. I was trying to list it one day, and I just kept going and going and going. Whether it's depression, problems at work,
relationships.
Feeling bad, being unhappy.
Dealing with your animals,
money, all those things, everything kind of collides, and those issues, your health, any health issues, everything, you can see there's an energy connected to whatever health issues that you have. So this is a very interesting thing. So let me give you an example. Okay. We need an example.
Okay.
And this is, little Johnny, is growing up. He goes to his mom and says, I don't feel like doing my homework tonight. Most people would take a programming approach, would just say, well, basically some way of, whether it's nice or mean or disciplinary.
Or being ignored.
No, that's not the point. The point is that most people would say, do it anyways.
Yes.
that, most people would say, little Johnny says, I don't want to do my homework. So the parent would say, do it anyways. Well, so what Johnny learns is that you push aside your emotions. Now, if the parent was using the ecosystem approach, they would start clearing, say, okay, Johnny, let's clear so we can figure out why you don't want to do your homework. So they might clear not wanting to do their homework. They might clear the hate of homework. They might clear
unworthiness,
wanting to do something else, wanting to go play outside. Yes, unworthiness, and
distractions.
This happens over a period of time. But as they start clearing these things, you may say to Johnny after you do like 5-10 minutes of clearing, well, then now you have to go do your homework. We've done the clearing. Now we have to go do your homework. But pretty soon, Johnny starts to see if he clears every single time, constantly and consistently, he's going to start to see, well, I'm really interested in this subject, but I'm not so interested in this subject. Or I'm really good at this, but I'm not so good at that. And so then let's see if he finds out he doesn't like to do math, but he really likes to do
history.
So we can clear his discomfort with math. That's the way to deal with that stuff, as opposed to do it anyway. That's programming.
Right.
And all of us have had those messages all of our life.
Okay. So, and for each one of us, it is unique. I do want to say that. Okay. But I also want to say that I've never seen where the clearing didn't work for someone at all, ever. And, as Jason said earlier, we've been doing this quite a while.
What we see is that as people age, this is the thing. We see that emotions are energies. And for some of you, that's kind of old hat. But for some of you, it's not. When we see emotions as energies, they're a thing. And they don't go away. We think of them as a mood that if we're angry, then the mood, we don't feel angry anymore, then the anger's gone away. Well, no. The angry energy is still there, and it just becomes hidden. And what happens is that when we take an energy approach to problems, where we clear away the negative energy versus forcing solutions, it gives you a real advantage of life. The thing about the ecosystem approach is that you'll have tools that most people who are next to you don't, in terms of being competitive in the world.
This is a great way to do it.
This is amazing.
Yes.
Most people don't really remove those negative energies. So as they get older, what they learn how to do is not overcome those negative things. They learn how to cope with them in a more sophisticated way.
Or bury them or push them aside.
That's a form of coping, yes.
That's right.
Bury them, push them aside, act like they don't exist. And a lot of people don't do anything, and so they get old, crotchety, angry, bitter, hard to deal with as they get older.
Jason, stop talking about the guy next door. So, you know what? The first misconception is that you have to completely understand what we're talking about before you can start. And I'm going to say, no, that's not true. And you possibly are very skeptical for a really good reason, because all of the other things you've tried have been programming, and programming doesn't work. It doesn't last. It doesn't make real changes. In fact, I just have a small story, and it's my story. When I first started the clearing, Jason and I had met in our place of work, and I was not in a very good place physically. I was pretty ill, and I was having very bad health and in a lot of pain. And Jason could see it, and so he did this. He said he would do this clearing for me. Well, we didn't connect when we should have, just for certain reasons. But he had done the clearing in my absence. He had used the ecosystem approach in my absence. The first, and I didn't really know that he had done it. When that happened, it was the first night that I had slept all the way through the night for the first time in 5 years. I'd been in a very bad car accident. And so he did this clearing, and I slept all the way through the night. When I woke up, I was like, I thought it was like 1 o'clock in the morning, and it was like 7 o'clock in the morning. Of course, I was late for work that day, but that's beside the point. My point being that the ecosystem approach changes your life because it removes the negative energies that keep you from who you are, keep you from your purposes here. It keeps you from being happy and healthy and enjoying everything.
The best of you.
The best of you. Yeah, very good. Very good. So, Jason, what are the key points of this segment?
The ecosystem approach is based on clearing constantly, consistently, and specifically.
Mm-hmm.
The ecosystem approach uncovers your natural abilities, talents, and creativity, and that motivation happens naturally when it comes from the essence, which is uncovered with the ecosystem approach. And you don't have to understand the ecosystem approach before you start. Understanding happens after you do the clearing.
Which is absolutely amazing. So, I just want everyone to know, I am walking, living, healthy proof that this works. So,
should we show them how to clear?
I think we should do that, and let's get started. So, Jason, how do you do this energy work with us?
All you have to do is you can sit down, stand. It doesn't matter what your posture is.
Don't do it driving. It can be a little distracting.
Exactly. So we want you to use your imagination. I want to ask everyone to set their intention to help the person next to you. If you clear something that you don't think affects you, it doesn't matter. It won't hurt you. But set your intention to help everyone. So as you do the clearing, you're helping people that may be connected with these emotions that maybe you aren't. So when we say and to eliminate, take a big breath, gather up all those emotions or that we talk about in terms of to eliminate or the situation and blow it out into a trash can. That trash can is in your mind's eye and we own the trash can. You can be in your imagination, put it over to the side and just blow it into there. If you have an actual trash can, you can use that.
Mm-hmm. Okay, and then you're going to go on to the next emotion, right?
Yeah, exactly.
All right, and we're going to show you how to do that in a few minutes. So, and then what we're going to do is we're going to activate life force energy. And this is the most amazing energy that we have access to. We're basically going to, in its way, reverse the process. We're going to pull in that life force energy through the top of your head, let it go all the way down your torso, through your arms, to the tips of your toes. We recommend you turn it around. And then while you take that big breath out, meaning exhale, you're going to blow out any negative energies you collected along the way. And you're going to blow it into the trash can. So stay tuned. When we come back, we're going to help you start implementing the ecosystem approach. This is Living Lighter with Jason and Patricia with an ecosystem approach to your life. You're listening to Transformation Talk Radio.
Are you looking for the perfect setting for your next workshop or retreat? At Spirit Fire Meditative Retreat Center, cultivating consciousness is what we do best. Our guests count on us to create an atmosphere that supports serenity and well-being. We lead from the heart and create space for the mind. Freshly prepared meals designed with local and organic ingredients, 95 acres of beautiful woods and pastures, and a facility built with green in mind. This is what you'll find at Spirit Fire. For more information, visit spiritfireretreatcenter.com.
Love Living Radio Ignite Your Whole Being with Emily Perkins is a show for those looking to explore the sparkling magnificence of their inner selves. Tune in every second and fourth Wednesday at 4 p.m. Pacific as Emily sheds a radiant light of love on the beauty and power that resides within you. Discussing love in all its forms through conversations that provoke awareness, curiosity, and expansion, Emily shares the unlimited power of love. For more information or to listen to this show, visit lovelivingholistics.com.
Are you ready to create a life you'll really love? Then you'll want to tune in to the hit show Life Design Radio From Adversity to Awesome with Susan DiLorenzo. Live each month on TransformationTalkRadio.com. No matter where you are in your adversity story, Life Design Radio has got you covered. Get ready to feel inspired, enlightened, and motivated. For more information about working with Susan, visit SusanDiLorenzo.com.
Living Lighter Radio with Jason and Patricia. We have an ecosystem approach to your life. Tune in weekly every Monday at 1 p.m. Pacific on Transformation Talk Radio as we, Jason and Patricia, discuss what's truly holding you back. We offer you the tools you need to reach your goals and at the same time be living lighter. For more information about Living Lighter, visit www.livinglighter.org.
Did you know that all of the shows on the Transformation Radio Network are available as podcasts to stream or download?
Really?
Check us out. Go to transformationradio.fm. We have business shows, spiritual shows, energy healing shows, and pretty much everything in between. Something for everyone, guaranteed to inspire, educate, and transform. We are transforming the world, one listener at a time.
Are you ready to finally feel empowered and knowledgeable in your political stance? Let Marcia Padilla-Goad educate you on exactly how important grassroots advocacy is in a relatable way to all perspectives. Tune in to Grassroots Advocacy Radio with Marcia every first Tuesday of the month at 12 p.m. Pacific, 3 p.m. Eastern on TransformationTalkRadio.com. Visit DynamicsInPublicAffairs.com.
This is Living Lighter Radio with Jason, and I'm Patricia. Today, we're giving Dr. Pat a vacation. So stay with us, and we're going to start to do some energy work. We're going to remove the negative energy that's covering up your essence with the ecosystem approach. Jason, let's get started.
Here we go. Just follow along and breathe with us, okay? I direct all my resources in all dimensions to eliminate the veils and illusions so I can see the toxic energies in my life, the 80% toxic energies in my life. Take a breath, blow it into that trash can. It can be imaginary. Do that right now. Take a breath.
And now we're going to shorten what we say just a little bit by saying, and to eliminate the barriers so I can start to remove the 80% before I completely understand
the clearing.
Take a nice breath.
And to eliminate my programming that says I have to understand it completely before I do it, when that's not true at all. Take a breath. And to eliminate my veils and illusions so I can see my essence has all the talent, ability, motivation that I'll ever need. Take a breath.
And to eliminate any shame and anger that I feel that this 80% is covered up, that I'm not capable of using it. I release and let go those blocks, all of that negative energy right now. Take a breath.
And to eliminate the shame I feel about myself, which keeps me from my talents and abilities. Take a breath. Blow it into that trash can.
And to eliminate my feelings of unworthiness that keeps me from my essence and the positive feelings that are there. Take a breath. Blow that into the trash can. You don't need it anymore.
And to eliminate feeling abused, beat up, invisible, ashamed, embarrassed, and hurt by all the programming that I grew up with.
Don't forget the anger.
Take a breath.
You know, Jason, let's activate life force. What do you say?
That sounds great.
Good. So you're basically going to do the same thing. I direct all my resources in all dimensions to activate life force energy, which, by the way, is the most powerful energy we have access to. So I can have the courage to see that it's negative energy that keeps me from my best self. Take a nice breath. Activate life energy. Let it come in through the top of your head, going all the way down your torso and your arms, all the way down to the tips of your toes. Turn it around. Let any negative energy be pushed out by that life force energy. Breathe.
And to activate life force so I can have the confidence that's organic and natural to my essence.
Oh, that's a good one.
Take a breath.
Take a breath. Here's a really good one. And to activate life force so I can love myself enough to want to uncover my essence and really see who I am without fear. Take a breath. Let that energy come all the way in through the top of your head. Let it go to the tips of your toes. Turn it around and that negative energy go out the window, so to speak. All right. So, and one last one, if you don't mind, Jason.
Yep, let's do it.
And to activate life force energy so I can love myself enough to be peaceful, healthy, and happy right now. Take a nice breath. Let it come in through the top of your head. Go all the way to the tips of your toes. Turn it around, and let it push out any negative energies that are keeping you from being happy and healthy and enjoying your life with peaceful energy. So, Jason, what do the listeners have to do to learn about the ecosystem approach on a regular basis?
All you have to do is tune into our show every week. We have clearings in the 4th segment every single time. Sign up for our newsletter. You can get clearings from that. We'll write out some clearings. We also have the backstory to our weekly shows. And you'll start to chip away at it. It's not something you do. It's not a quick fix. It's not something that happens overnight. But you can feel something right away. So, some people do and some people don't.
Exactly. So, Jason, when's our regular time slot?
Our normal time slot is 1 p.m. Pacific time and 4 p.m. Eastern time.
Okay. So, everyone, this is Living Lighter Radio, and we're here every week, one more time, Monday at 1 p.m. Pacific and 4 p.m. Eastern time. If you can't listen at that time, our show is recorded, and you can go to our website, www.livinglighter.org, and look for the radio tab.
You can download the shows and listen to them on your smartphone, use it as a podcast, listen to it over and over again. You can listen to that 4th segment over and over again and do the clearings with it. It's perfect for constant, consistent, and specific.
Clearings, okay. And so one more time, if you want to feel better, do the clearings constantly, consistently, and specifically. If you want to do that, you have to sign up for our newsletter. And by the way, Jason oftentimes comes up with some really unique stories. Oftentimes they're really stories that tell bad things about me. So
I love that part. Oh. Yes. You got to sign up just for that. Yeah.
And you will hear us laugh and but we also tell really good stories about ourselves and others. It's kind of interesting. So don't forget to do that. Okay. In fact, you can go right now and go to www.livinglighter.org and look for the radio tab and pull that down, and you'll get all the information that you need to sign up.
All of the old shows are archived, and
Yes.
all the new shows are highlighted, so you can see that in the bottom.
Exactly.
So if you want to make comments about what you heard today, if you've had an effect, send us an email. Our email address is Jason and Patricia, one word, @livinglighter.org.
Right. I love that. If you got a benefit today and had some fun, go like us on Facebook. By the way, Jason really likes that part. We're here at livinglighter.org. If you like us, then we always get a preview of the next show. You always give it a preview of the next show on our Facebook page each and every week. So we'll connect next week, Monday at 1 p.m. Pacific and 4 p.m. Eastern Time. This is Transformation Talk Radio. You're listening to Living Lighter Radio with Jason and Patricia.
Wishing you a lifetime of living lighter.
Bye, everyone.